Hello, are we there yet? Now I'm live. Hello, everyone. It is Self-Care Sunday, Self-Care Edition. How are you? And you, but especially yes, up there in the back corner. How are you tonight? Tell me about it. I hope you are doing absolutely fabulous. Let's see. There we got that screen going. Let's see if we can get the other one going here. Come on, computer. Uh, let's see here. Boom. And if I get this other screen going there, now we've got it going. I think we've got all the screens going. There we are on this Sunday, the 7th of June. 7th of June already. We are just cruising through. First week is in the books, the first week of June. And it's been a good week for a lot of people. I've had talked to a lot of stores this week. It has been a good week. I hope it has been a good week wherever you are, and that you are having an amazing week. Absolutely fabulous. As we climb through things here this week. It's been a weird weather weekend. We had rain, we've had wind, we've had sunshine. It's been, you know, it's been kind of weird, but it's been good. It has been, and shoppers have been out, and people are having a good time keeping on. So it is good. What is going on in your world today on this Sunday night? Um, can't believe we're already in this. It's been a busy month already. It really has. Let me flip over, get our quote of the night happens. Our opening quote. Our opening quote tonight, our opening quote on the show tonight is luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And that is true. And that is true. Luck is what we make, what people say, what is that? You're so successful, you made such a success. Well, success is that luck of success is lots of work to make that happen. Is how that all comes to be. And It is a very true statement. One of the a business podcast I listen to is always asking, how much do you attribute to luck and how much do you attribute to hard work of your business success? And luck always there's an element of luck of making the right decision at the right time, but running into the right people. But it's a balancing act of luck and hard work. And balancing that all out. It is an interesting dynamic how we make all that play. How that all happens. Um, But it is great to be here with you as we get going here on this Sunday night. Busy week ahead. Tonight, I thought I'd talk a little bit about an interesting story with Five Below, but it's happened to other retailers too. And actually, it's happened to a lot of other retailers, and resale stores make the same mistake. That Five Below did. Five Below created a store within a store. They created this store within a store called, and I don't know if you are a Five Below shopper or been in a Five Below, but a Five Below is like, it was like the calling it an upscale dollar store is really a bad name for it, but its idea was to originally that everything was below $5. Okay, so instead of Dollar Tree where everything was a dollar, okay, Five Below was everything was below $5. That's how they got their name, and that's where they tried to keep their price point for a long time. Uh, and so you're sort of bound by your name. I mean, your name sort of that's sort of where your name plays a gotcha. Your name can be both a blessing and a curse in business. And what Five Below ran into was, for a long time they ran the blessing as they were giving you stuff that was better than the dollar store. Okay, they were giving you more for your dollar or items that cost just a little bit more, but still keeping it in the lower price range. So your dollar went further. And then they remodeled their stores and created Five Beyond. So things that were priced above $5. And this is where things got really interesting. This is where things got really interesting. And you may have heard in the news, and they've had this for a while. They've had the Five Beyond for a while, trying to create an area within their store, okay, that allowed the higher price point. Okay, because things were costing more. Their margins, their amount of profit was shrinking. So their profit was shrinking. So they were selling things and they were making a profit, much like the dollar stores, and then that was shrinking. So they needed to create an area of profit that they thought would be profitable and also thought would get them a better customer. Okay, customers that would spend a little bit more. And that's why they created this store within a store. It was a section, it was a department, if you will, within Five Below where things were more expensive. So a more expensive section of Five Below. And all these stores have experimented with it. The Dollar Tree has done it. Five Below did it. And with this Five Beyond, Dollar General has done it. Quite honestly, everybody's done it at different levels. Okay, Macy's has done it with their backstage. TJ Maxx does it. Marshall's done. They have all done this, and resale stores do this too, and have some of the same problems that Five Below did. And it's great to learn from not only these stores, but they're public companies. So their results and their strategy are generally public. They talk about it. They tell Wall Street what they're doing to turn around their lackluster results. Okay, what changes they're going to make. And what Five Below found was that people weren't shopping the Five Beyond section, so they scrapped it. They scrapped it to an extent, okay? Because what they found in tests were that by having a Five Beyond section, okay, people were feeling excluded, okay? The Five Beyond section was for the rich people. That was for the people that could afford the more expensive stuff. That was the stuff we can't afford. We won't go in that section because we can't afford the things that are beyond. It is beyond our economic stretch. It is beyond where we are. And people would not shop it. People would not shop it. And so they had these huge sections of the store that were essentially dead zones, that were like, do not cross, don't come in here. That was like do not come in here sections of the store. And That creates dead square footage. You know I don't like dead square footage. You know I want your shoppers shopping every section of that store. I want them everywhere in it. And this was creating a section that said, no, don't come in here. Stay away. Stay away. Go. Go. But what Five Below did, so that was the effect of it. That was the effect of it. Okay? What Five Below did was take those same items that they charged more, that were beyond, and people felt were beyond, okay, and would not go in and would not shop. They took that and put that in line with their other items. So now the items were mixed in with everything else. The items were, so if you had a basic pink calculator and a fancy one, or maybe it was a black calculator and the pink calculator was the upgrade. Okay, the pink calculator used to be in the Beyond section. Now it's in the regular section, but at a higher price, still at above the $5 amount. Now they were selling tons of it. People were buying it. Okay, people were buying it. Their actual sell through of all of it went up. They didn't get rid of the items that they were selling at above $5. They just mixed them in with the regular. Okay, so maybe it was a shampoo that they were selling. They had the $4 shampoo and they had the $8 shampoo. And now they were selling because they were right next to each other on their shelves. They had the cheaper bag of chips and the more expensive bag of chips. And the more expensive bags were now selling because they were next to that. They weren't in the Beyond section. And this was happening throughout. They did this, and their sales went up dramatically in those stores because people weren't excluded. Okay, it was meant to exclude. Well, it wasn't meant to exclude, but it served the purpose of creating an excluded environment. And that happens in resale. That happens in our stores. That happens when a store that happens when a store puts things the better brands all in one section. The better brands all off by themselves instead of mixed in. It happens in a store when they put and it's easiest to explain with clothing, but I see it happen. It's easiest to explain in a video like this, in a video live video like this with clothing, but I see it happening in home decor too. It happens when you put the better items on a different color hanger or a different type of hanger. So you use fancy wood hangers for the pricier stuff and keep them separate, and you put plastic hangers. That makes it feel like if my arm is full of plastic hangers, that I am not good enough for your store. I am not good enough to be in the good section. I am not good enough to shop the good section. When everything is mixed in, when your brand mix is mixed into the actual regular search, okay, it allows me to stretch. Sometimes I stretch my budget. So I may be a plastic hanger person, but this allows me to stretch my budget and say, oh, well, this item, yeah, it's a little bit more than I would normally spend, but it's so nice and the material's so nice. It lets me expand beyond what I normally would shop. It allows me to create that. And that is how Five Below is getting people beyond, by mixing items into their regular selection. And that works really well in resale. As long as, and I know I can hear it from some of you already, but Neil, I can't keep my Louis Vuittons in with my Vera Bradleys. And I'm not saying that, okay? Those are totally different. That, to a great extent, those are a different store than your average item. Okay, a $500 Louis, okay, when your average price point in your store is $20, is different. Okay, that's a different store. Okay, that's not something that's going to casually get picked up by your average shopper. Okay, but your average item, when you're only going up a little bit, okay, keeping it separate, keeping all the things separate makes me feel excluded as a shopper, or makes it so that I never see it because I exclude myself. I exclude myself from even looking at it. And that's what was happening at Five Below. You had this whole section of the store where people would just exclude themselves from even looking at it, thinking they could not afford it or wouldn't want it because of the price. And so you want to set up your store so you're not doing that. So you're not excluding people. So you're getting people to stretch just a little bit, okay, through the natural retail progression that you're getting people to go a little beyond what they're normally doing, because that helps them grow beyond and grow with your store, and it helps you reach a higher price point, and eventually it will help raise your overall price point. If enough people are purchasing those items, you will start carrying more of them, you will sell more of them. I have a store that I worked with that used to be so proud of being the under $20 dress shop, okay, having dresses for their customers that were under $20. And now, because they've grown their business, and it's been a long time, uh, a number of years, they've grown it, and now their store is the $40 dress shop. Okay, where their customer doesn't want the $20 dresses, they want the $40 dresses. And that's just a simple example, but it's true. And that doesn't happen overnight. That stretch doesn't happen overnight. But I think we will be looking back at this, and in a couple of years, Five Below will be telling us as a percentage they'll be selling even more of the stuff above $5. That their customers are taking advantage of those items versus the ones below $5. And this happens in resale stores as well when you stop excluding people from seeing it. When you have all these just above segregated, it locks people out. They lock themselves out, or they feel excluded or unspecial in your store. So don't let people feel that way in your business. Don't let people feel disconnected, and connect people with your items and with your store, because that's part of how you continue to build a better community and a better store. So that is what is so important in continuing to grow your business. And it is a great lesson that we can take from Five Below, and from what they reported to Wall Street. And so from Wall Street to Main Street, you can take that to the bank and run that in your business. You know what else you can do in your business? This video and everything I talk about goes over to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running the store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, ring the bell, ring it so you know when another one drops. You can also share it with everybody you know in business, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, so we can help everybody run a better business. I am here every Sunday and Wednesday at More 8 Than Ish, Sunday and Wednesday at More 8 Than Ish. But if you have a question in between, just email me, Neil, Neil, at resalerise.com, Neil at resalerise.com. This week I am traveling. I am in DC. Be meeting with the Secretary of the Treasury. I'm scheduled to meet with the head of the SBA and other people on Capitol Hill this week. It should be a great week of meetings the first half of this week while I'm on the road. I fly back late Wednesday night, so I may hop on from the airport Wednesday, or I may not be on this Wednesday. If I'm not on this Wednesday, I will be back next Sunday night live. But Wednesday, depending on my meeting schedule, I'm not sure that I will be on Wednesday. We start the program every night with our opening quote. Our opening quote tonight was, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Our closing quote tonight, "The only man who never makes a mistake is the man who never does anything." The only man who never makes a mistake is the man who never does anything. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a June party in DC. I don't know. I'll be in DC this week, but until then, and until probably next Sunday at Morning Finish, know that you, but most importantly, yes, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. I'll see you soon.